Wizard of West LA here. Today, let's take a look at some code, and this is Tkinter. And this is an example of some Tkinter code that converts feet to a certain amount of meters. For example, if we put in 1 and we hit calculate, it gives you 0.30485 meters. It's a very simple calculation. And this is the code for this calculation. I will be posting this on the website. And what I'd like to do is to go through and show you any little changes, what these actually do, the padding. There's some important ones that I have found which are very useful, so you can learn this really quickly, is the padding and how you identify certain strings. So you can identify the feet and the meters. So let's get started with this. We start with the beginning of the code. We have the call for Tkinter, which is on the other example if you watch the other video. This is a function called calculate, and it defines it as calculate, and then you have these arguments. And what it will do is it will set whatever you have in meters. It does this, it calculates this, divides it by 10,000, and it gives you that value, which will set it up for whatever you have in feet. So here, right here is the feet, and it's a floating number, so you can put 1.2 feet, whatever you want to do, puts that in value, and then this is the calculation it does and puts it in meters. Now we look at how this is defined. This is an important one, root.title. This puts whatever you want on top. This is the title. The mainframe here, these are definitions for that frame. The padding is the size of the frame. Let's play with this. We had 12, 12. Let's put 100, 100, and you'll see the difference. So you see this size right here. I'm just going to rerun it. Save it. Look at that. It makes it bigger. So this is what I want to do today, is show you what these changes actually do, what padding actually does. It affects the size. So we put them back to 12. We put them back to 12. We run it, save it, and now we're back to the same size. So now you know what the padding actually does. The next thing is the grid. So the grid, I have it starting at 0, column 0, row 0, and what the stickies actually do, is they tell you where to shorten strings or anything like that. And they work with compass headings like north, west, east, and south. And that is related to north, south, and then west and east on this square, on this frame. We'll go through more of that later. We'll change some of those. And then we have a column configure. We'll play with this, and a row configure, and we'll play with that. This defines the strings. Feet is a string variable, as it's on here, and then meters is another string variable. Feet entry here is where it waits to get information from feet. This whole little routine is going to wait until it gets information. Here we have the text variable, feet, which goes with this. That is the variable. We have the width of that. If we change it below 7, the box is going to get smaller. And it's part of from mainframe, which is this frame. We're only working with one frame. Now we have the grid. We have it starting at column 2, row 1, and then sticky here is defined as west and east, and this is where the data will go. For example, let's make a change. I have that on column 2. Let's change that to column 1. I'm going to run it, and you will see it change. Look at that. I'll move it back over here. It's on column 1. So it moved it over. So it has 1, 2, and 3 columns. That's how this one's set up. You can put as many columns as you want. So let's change that back to column 2. I'm going to rerun it. We save it, and it's back to column 2. So now you know what the columns do. Rows will move it down, but in this case, if I change it to 2, it's just going to cover the other one. You won't be able to see anything. So now we have the label, TTK label, and it's this main frame, and the variable is, the thing is meters. So that is going right here. It's labeling that as meters. That is the label for that when it makes the display. Now this is a definition of the button, and you can change the label of the button. As you can see, it's in green, and that goes with, you have to identify a command. So this is the same setup for all of them, and goes to command calculate. And look what calculate is. Calculate is a function right here. And then it defines it as a grid. So it is in column 3, row 3. So column 3, row 3. Again, if I change this to, let's change it to column 1. I'm going to run it. This is always good to experiment to see what it does. There, it puts it on the other side. I can change it. I'll change it to column 3. This is always good to see what it does. There, so it moved it back to column 3. Now we have some labels. We have a label called feet, which is put in column 3, row 1, right there, which is feet. And then I have the next thing is equivalent to, which is on column 1, row 2. You can already see it's the type of grid. And then we have the word meters, which is going to be after this empty spot, which is where meters will be displayed. And then we have this standard. We have this standard line here. We'll be going through that later. I'll do another video, this one also. Focus tells you that it's going to wait on feet entry. So when you first run this thing, it's going to start with this box. If you have other boxes, you can specify where to focus on that box. You can, if say you have another box here that has something else like inches, you can say focus on inches, and it will stop at that box. And the last one on here is the main loop, and this is all the main loop, and this will wait for these keystrokes, especially that enter key. For example, if I put 6 feet and I hit calculate, it does this. It'll give you the amount of meters. And there are ways to format this. We will put it on another video. So I just wanted to show you this, how this works. Watch, if I rerun it, it will clear it. There we go. I wanted to start breaking down some of the code, and we will play with this, modify it, and I will add some more functions on this. So I just want to say Happy New Year, and this is a great way to start the new year and work more on Python. Python is a great language, and a lot of people are using it. One of the important things is learning how to do GUIs, graphical user interfaces. And this is very, very useful. So I hope this helps you, and I will be putting up more videos on this. And remember, keep on learning.